Greetings and gratitude to all light forms and life workers who have found this Celtic Otherworld Voyage for Internet Persons with Violetann Tarot. Hello.
Hello, thank you for coming to do my readings today.
Yeah, well, thank you for being willing and able. And to anyone, this is the Celtic Otherworld Book of the Dead Voyage. And for Internet Persons, if you would like a reading, my email's in the description, and contact me. I am offering these for free for the time being. If you want to record it to be uploaded, that we can, or just have it private. Let me know, people, in the future. Okay, let's get this started. Violetann, I'm going to take some breaths, and thank you. I'm going to take a few breaths, and when you feel excitement, please say stop. The excitement you felt when you first heard the word Avalon.
Stop.
And so I'm going to place all the runes and cards before we go. And on the map, in the Celtic Cross formation, will be the islands, and then you will decide where we will begin. I'll show you the map again. So, setting them out now. And there's this moment when I step through, and that's about now. So I'm going to step aside at this last one, and then we'll begin the reading. These are the cards. I'm going to shuffle. When you hear the cry of the phoenix, or the song, the phoenix song in your heart, please say stop.
Stop.
Okay, I'm going to take a few deep breaths and show you the map here. Okay. So, where would you like to begin? We can go off the compass, which is the 8
the center. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. After 3 breaths, for inhales and exhales. You find yourself in your mind's eye in a boat in a turbulent ocean, mist and fog around you, thick as castle walls, preventing any light from the sky or darkness from entering. Gray surrounds on all sides. You look to your left and you see the wall of gray. To your right, you see, cloaked in a gray robe, a druid. You recognize this druid instantly as a certain lion with 3 eyes, who may or may not involve in libraries. You recognize this person, and you know that you are beginning your journey. You want to start at your center. You say to your guide, as the druid commands the boat at top speed to the center of your own interrealm, of the most void space within. You begin to map this location. As the boat approaches in the mist, faintly, you begin hearing the hammering of metal, thud, and then louder, thud, thud. And as you approach, you see columns of magma shoot out of the side of an island. The fog clears as the hammering continues louder and louder. Thud, thud. Your guide says you have now reached the island of the forge. As you walk into a cave, you see a giant man, maybe 20, 30 feet tall, in a large, hollowed out, cavernous space, hammering on a sword 3 times as long as him. In endless labor, this is the Forge Master. You look closely and you see that this giant has the same eyes as you, the same body language as you, but a different aspect in their powerful hammering. You look around the room and you see an ironing apron. You see all of the tools and materials needed to forge your own blade. You reach into the magma and you pull out a perfectly red hot molting steel blade engraved with one symbol, this symbol here, the symbol of hell, the symbol of temperance, the symbol of going through a hard experience to make it through the other side stronger. You see the Forge Master again. In their strength, you hear the constant hammering, the endless work. Long ago, this person loved what they did as a blacksmith so much. Where they lived, they could never spend time with their loved ones, their family, and their existence. So they left one day, found this place in the other world, and will live for all time. And after time has died, there will still be an ancient hammering. You begin to hammer your blade now, and you crunch it in the ocean. You feel the knowledge. This symbol on your blade. Your Forge Master friend stops his hammering for one brief instant to hand you a sheath with a phoenix engraved on it, fiery and passionate in the metal sheath, perfectly made with expert craftsmanship. You place your sword into the sheath created, and knowing your strength and your power, this is not a sword meant for evil, for killing, for damage. This is a sword forged with the creativeness of passion, but the boundaries of magma. As you walk through this cave one last time, you reach to touch the magma and you see it doesn't burn. It is as if it's water, but the consistency of magma, thick and constant, but a slight warmth, but no burn. This is molting magma, and it is you. It is the magma flow, the rocky liquid of your essence, and you are constantly flowing and forging to become even more. As we leave the island, your guide asks if you have any questions or comments before we continue.
One thing I kind of had when you were saying about the fairy person, I don't know if it means anything to you, but like when you said about the person in the robe, I kind of saw somebody with like dark hair, like wavy dark hair, almost like turning grey, almost like slightly silvery, like dark, like originally dark hair, but like turning silvery grey with like a bit of a wave in the hair, kind of like shoulder length male hair. I don't know if that means anything to you.
It will when I watch this in the future. because that guy is interested in that stuff. But right now, I know what I look like, and I'm not concerned. But in the future, your friend Samuel might be interested in that information. So, and how do you like your sword? Your
I had
guide
like
asks.
I had like a vision of it, like of it being like golden, like with almost like wing, like I don't know if you like wings kind of attached to it, almost like golden, kind of like a flare out of a wing sort of thing attached with a gemstone in the middle. And particularly it was like a fire opal in the middle. And fire opals to me is like one of the other gemstones that I really love.
Yeah, and it's one that would be found in a forge.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think
That
they're created through fire as well.
yeah, volcanic activity as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that fire opal would be the most common crystal in that location. So okay, you have a full compass aside you. Your guide says, where do you want to go? You have the 8 directions: north, east, south, west, and the 4 between. Where
East.
do you want to go? As the boat continues to row, you feel the strength and energy and the passion and creativity that you have made with your sword. The choices you have made now as the mist consumes and the volcanic energy leaves, but that hammering slowly fades away. The constant, endless hammering leads into an endless silence of nothingness. No sounds, no birds, just void for a brief second, till the birds come back, until the fish begin making sounds. Yeah, under the water. You see a large sandbar in the distance. As we get closer, you see one stream of sand and one stream of blood. You see a woman completely naked, her hair stretching down past her toes. She is naked, but she is completely covered by her hair. Each strand of hair a different color. Some gray, some black, and some all shades in between. She has been here before there was a here, before there was a now. She was a person very wealthy, very important, had so much obligations and could never live, could never be, and could never have. She left that place and chose to come here to be a hermit, to be by herself, to be as herself. She reaches into the sand as you walk onto the island. A rune with this symbol in one hand and a velvet baggie in the other. This velvet satchel she hands to you. You see it has your name written on it. The rune she hands you, she explains, this is the symbol of ancestry, inheritance, what you have gained from those who have gone before, and what will you contribute to those who come after. This is your house. This is your legacy. This is the thing that you have created that will sustain, and the thing that you might have inherited from someone else. This is the ancientness of you. As you look closely more at this hermit woman, you see that she is you. She is the hermit aspect of you that exists solitary, only willing to greet one person. You look behind the sandbar and you see a large glacier passing by. You feel the coldness of this glacier as it moves through the hot water. Different chunks of it falling into the water. Loud noises as you hear the smile permeating through you. You hear the sounds of the birds louder than ever. The Hermit says, you always have a choice to be by yourself or be with others. With the moderation of both, have one hand of the blood and one hand of the sand. Have one hand of interacting with other people, and have one hand of nurturing and supporting yourself. The salt helps you be your highest natural self. The blood is what you give and express and experience with others. You can't have one without the other, but by having too much of one depletes the other within you. Find your own balance. As you begin to leave the island, you reach into the two streams and you feel that never-ending flow, the constant movement of the universe. For all those people who chose to be by themselves, they live as grains of salt forevermore. For every person who chose to be with others more, lives as a drop of blood forevermore. This is the choice of those souls, and this is their most happy outcome of reality. The Hermit is the one who keeps this island safe. Within all of us, your guide says as you return to the boat. Do you have any questions or comments? You can place your rune in your satchel if you would like.
The only thing I had like a bit of a vision of is like the first thing you said about with the woman being naked is Alanis Morissette set. Don't you remember like the music video of that she did, like where she was like completely naked? I think it was like one, it was like talking about garden stuff, and it was talking about like existence and stuff that she did, where she had like, she literally had self completely naked with her hair down, covering everything. And that's what I kind of, the instantly thing I thought of.
Yeah, and what you can see is a very skeletal, not very muscular, very bony person underneath. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the hermit aspect within all of us. And as you leave, you see a lantern on the shore. You take the lantern, and within it is one pyramid and the other upside down in one same shape, spinning, same symbol you recognize from Pixie through the Rider-Waite-Smith deck of images, your guide says. The individually known as Pixie was able to find the land of the islands of the Otherworld and put many of those symbols into the common tarot deck of the mortal world. So we know all about Pixie here in the Otherworld. So the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is very famous here. So where would you like to continue, north or east?
North.
As we go back into the darkness of the mist, your lantern now illuminating more. You can see more of the fish, more of the birds flying overhead. Only their shadows, but that's still more. As we continue in the boat, you feel a new sense of power, but a musical chord begins to play in your head. A rhythm of a guitar, a song of a harp, music of laughter. As we approach this island, you start feeling massive warmth and heat. You look to the sky and you see fire. You look down, you see fire. Your guide says, you have entered the island of the circled fire. Once, your guide says, there was a man known as John who came to the other world with his wife. They found this island and they made a ballad about it. And the flames did grow higher, and it burned, burned, burned. It was a ring of fire. And this burning with burning away of hatred. As you look through the island, and walk through the island, you see families celebrating. You see beautiful pyramids being built by happy workers instead of slaves. You see dogs and cats being domesticated in happiness. You see the positivity of society. A whole group of people weaving together one large tapestry. A woman emerges from the crowd and hands you a rune with this symbol engraved. She says, "This is water, this is flow, this is the natural state of coming and going. This is the opposite of fire, is water, but both must exist together for the universe to maintain. Both have place. They can exist together as steam, and through this steam, power can be forged," she says as she vanishes in the crowd. You only get a quick glimpse of her stunning beauty for a second, never to be seen again, knowing that she is the flaming, beautiful, fire nymph version of you who lives here as a fire spirit forevermore. As you walk closer to the flame, you see people of all kinds of skin tone and clothing choice, cooking and forging and working with the fire in so many different ways. This is, and you feel the burn as each flame blasts off your face, but you feel no pain. You feel no hurt of the burn. You feel as if the only thing that is burning is negativity. The wooden, stuck, dead, dried, moldy, and sad aspect of you is burning away, is being changed into carbon at your feet, returning back into the soil. As you, every step you take, black carbon footprints are left in the sand. These are the residue, the black carbon of all of the things you are burning away by being on this island. Take a few breaths here, and you can wash your feet off in the ocean before we continue. If you have any questions, your guide says now is your time.
I don't think I do. I'm not sure I do.
Okay. Then you step completely through the fire, standing in it, the full ring of fire, the circle of flame that never dies, the constant ring of magic that protects happiness and excitement and joy and positivity. You stand on the ring in the center of the fire, and knowing you are the fire nymph, you are made of fire. And the only thing that can burn away is the part of you that is believing that it is not fire. As you step through back to the boat, you find yourself clothed in a fiery red, yellow, and purple colored toga, ancient. And your sword glistening in the back. In your hand, you are holding a satchel of fire opal. These are gifts for the rest of your journey. Any people you meet, you can give them out freely as a token of kindness from this beautiful island as we continue. East or west? Your guide says.
West.
So we're going through on a counterclockwise, it seems. As we approach the next island through the mist, the sky clears into darkness. You hear sounds of agony, wails of pain, horses' bones being broken. You hear suffering of highest degree you ever have. Your guide says you have reached the island of Cannibal horses. You see a large island where two groups of horses half of them white, half of them red, all of them starving. You see a group of 5 white horses eating one red horse in a slaughter. Then you see 10 red horses chasing 2 white horses, each of them faster enough, taking large bites out of the body of the horses as they flee in pain. Your guide says, this is the place where masculine and feminine battle, hot and cold, right and wrong, good and evil. What you think and what they think, what you know and what is right, where all dualism battles for existence. This is where duality fights forevermore in a constant struggle of cannibalism, never ending and only consuming itself, and not wanting to see that it is itself. This is where all racists, bigots, separateness, colonialists, and divisive people end up battling themselves in duality forevermore. Each person who has this mindset exists here as one horse of light and one horse of night. One is bright and one is dim. They battle forevermore until they must eat, and the stronger will live and the weaker will die. As you walk through this island, you see one white horse badly damaged from its last battle. You walk up to it and you place your one fire opal near it, and you see it instantly begins to heal. It instantly begins to grow as the fire opal dissolves into the sand beneath. Gone forever, the crystal, but now the life force of this white horse. The white horse follows you as you see a red horse, screaming in its hoarse way in agony and pain as it's bleeding out from a bite mark to the jugular. Blood everywhere, staining its already red red mane. You place a fire opal next to it. Same thing, the horse begins to heal as the opal dissolves into the sand. These two horses look at each other. You realize that these are your horses. These are your aspects. The aspect of you that is kind, the aspect of you that is cruel, the aspect of you that is right, and the aspect of you that is wrong. They make eye contact and they run at top speeds in the opposite direction, and they make a U-turn right at the ocean, splashing in the water before they turn, running back at each other at top speed. So fast they become a blur before they reach each other. Boom! A loud sound as they collide. A huge light engulfs the whole dark island. For a brief second, you can see millions of horses battling and eating each other, and releasing the bones of their fellow horses through bloody stool and in pain forevermore. But you see for once in a gleam of light, a mighty Pegasus, its wings of gold and light. Those two horses of you are now one. Around the neck is this rune. This is ice. You see ice begin to overtake this island. You see all of the conflict of these horses engulfing in ice. The ice will melt. This is a temporary pause. But for the brief moment, for a few atoms of essence, there will be peace on this island because of this Pegasus of you, this bright creature. You mount the flying horse and take a brief ride into the clouds before you return to the boat. This creature will continue with us on our adventure. Your winged steed loves you very much. Come into harmony with this horse as you ride. Know that the right and wrong, the good, the bad, the dualistic aspect of you can be unified in a beautiful flying contradiction of its own energy as the horse continues to gallop in the mist and lands on the water surface. You feel the energy of the ice beginning to melt, some of the horses beginning to attack each other once more. As you leave the island, you know that you have broken the cycle of self-conflict. You have broken the cycle of bullying, of victimhood, of negativity, of oneness, of thought. You are now the beautiful Pegasus rider that you always were meant to be, instead of the cannibal horse who you wore before. Says your guide as we continue. Any questions or comments or concerns?
The only thing made me think of was the fact that like the concept of that you can never completely get rid of negativity in the world. Basically, it's like light can't exist without darkness, and darkness can't exist without light.
Yes, but if you can find that golden gray, then you can fly above both. And very few people ever are wanting to look at the darkness within. They try to say, "Oh, that's not real." But the white horse is bloodstained as well.
They try and say that they don't have any darkness. Everybody has some darkness. Everybody has a dark side. Everybody has a light side. It's just which side you decide to embrace, really.
Or the third option.
You find somewhere in the middle ground.
Okay, so I will show you the map so you can pick the next destination.
South.
As the boat continues, the darkness and pain and hurt and conflict and consumption of the island, of the cannibal horses, blurs into the endless void of fog. You hear laughter within your heart for the first time, as the laughter grows and it becomes song, and the song grows and it becomes orchestra. And as the orchestra grows and becomes the echo of the wind, we land at the island of recognition. A seagull drops a bag of chestnuts in front of you. You reach into the bag of chestnuts, and you see that on each chestnut is written the things you are afraid of, the things you are ashamed of, the things that hurt you, the things that you don't like, the things that make you uncomfortable, the things that are painful and hurtful. As you hold this bag, you feel all of that. The bag weighs almost a ton. Somehow you are able to lift it, but you can feel its weight with every step. You see a woman followed by a family with children climbing rocky hillside up a large cliff. The seagull flies to that same cliff as you begin to climb this rocky road. You feel the weight lessen with each step. You go to the top and you see a woman with long flowing black hair who's the keeper of this place. And you see a mighty grove of trees on the other side of the hill. The woman hands you a rune with this symbol. She says this is the symbol of needs, of requirements, of what is necessary for you at this time and for others. What is the thing that is needed for you to be who you want to be? She says. She points to the trees. These are all of the things planted, all of the sadnesses, doubts, and fears rooted deeply into the orchard of regret, of negativity. Then she points to the ocean. This is for those who choose to throw their seeds, their nuts and berries into the ocean. For the fish, so that they can never grow and not consume them, and to choose to cut down the trees and to build a raft to go forward. You look into the bag and begin one by one tossing them into the water. You see the woman and child behind you celebrating as more and more people begin to gather. With each one landing in the water, you feel a release, as if the weight off your shoulders, the weight of your heart, the weight of your mind lessened more and more with every second. As you reach into the bag and no more is left, you hand it to the woman behind you. You see that there's a whole group of people celebrating this purge, this change of you. You look around and you see ancient ruins, messages from great creator beings who made a temple on this island long ago that has slowly crumbled into the ocean. Only small remains are here at the top of this cliff that erodes ever more into the sea. You feel reconnected to the ancient idea. You think differently now. You are recognized. Your brain space is thinking of life in a different way as you return to the boat. Do you have any questions or comments or concerns? Your guide asked.
I'm not very good with like runes reading because I don't really do it very often. But what is the meaning of that rune?
Necessity.
Necessity.
Requirements, the things that are its needs, the things that you need, the things that other need. You can think about it as the way I remember it. It looks like a bow when you're making fire.
Mm-hmm.
So fire is a necessity for life. So think of it as friction, as the things that are needed for momentum, the things that the fuel for reality, and that is thought. And in this context, it's the recognition. So, and during these, the first thing with the runes is the main conventional meaning, and then the more abstract meaning are your own to kind of infer.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good that you don't know a lot about them, because if you did, it might limit what messages you could receive from them.
Yeah.
The more you know of the runes, the less the runes can tell you. Is an old runic saying. So. Then, north or east?
North.
As we leave this new thought, this recognition, this change of self, you feel the spinning, the rotation, the vortexes around you. You look into the water. As it begins to be clear, a golden light shines. A massive wheel is spinning, shooting geysers of water, mist in all directions. You feel the cold water on your skin, followed by warm, then cold, then warm, then cold, constantly changing as the wheel is spinning. You look at this wheel and you feel And you know that this is the will of the universe. This is the constant momentum spin of all existence, of all space and all time. It is always moving, always flowing. As you look around, you see there's many other wheels. You leave the boat and you see that this is not an island, this is a place in cosmic. The ground is golden as you walk past. You see engravings in this space of ancient animals, some of them extinct and some of them mythological, some of them you've never seen before. You walk to a wheel, stuck, not spinning. You see within the wheel a stone blocking it from spinning. You remove the stone and you look on one side, you see nothing. You look on the other side, you also see nothing. Your guide says that is the weird rune, WYRD, the reality you make for yourself, the blank space of reality, the free will within destiny. They say that your book of your life was already written. If that was true, then there's at least 2 blank pages that you can write your own story in. And within this blank page, within this reality is your choice. The wheel that you removed the rune from begins spinning faster, creating smoke, faster, whistling in a loud squeal, faster, beginning to flash out of vision, faster, vanishing completely, and knowing that it will only continue to grow faster and faster forevermore in the different states of momentum. You feel the spin, and you know that you are in control of the wheel of the universe. You are the master of the wheel of your destiny. As you leave, once again, you feel the energy of Pixie. You see what she saw when she saw this wheel in her mind. How she saw an eagle, an angel, a lion, and one other creature waiting forevermore the 4 corners of existence in the spinning wheel. There was a jackal-headed creature manning the spin. You feel that this set aspect is the proprietor of destiny, the choice maker of reality. Knowing that in this rider-waite symbol that is commonly used holds the ancient message of the free will of the wheel that always spins. Many people choose never to give it a go. They think they are the spin. They don't want to realize that they're the one who spun the wheel. As you leave this island, do you have any questions, comments, or concerns for your guide?
The only thing that I kind of thought about was like when you burn sage and that, you burn and you to clarify and to clear out all the negative crap. That's the only thing that popped into my head. Just having to kind of re-sanctify everything, basically.
Yeah, and it's just like in the tarot, the wheel represents free will within structured momentum of other people. And the weird rune is that in the rune system. So yes, basically the double message. So of you being in control of your destiny, not having to go off of predestiny, knowing that there is some predestiny, but you still have pages that you get to write in. So at this time, your guide says, after the 6 islands, it is customary for me to offer to return you and end this voyage now, or would you like to continue to the 5 more locations?
Can I do one more?
Okay, then I'll show you and you can choose your final destination. So after the 6th island, there's always a choice.
Is the top right an island or?
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is these are the right side brain message and the left side brain message.
Oh, so then the islands.
Yeah.
Bottom left then.
Okay. So that's your more passionate side, your non-logical, expressive side.
Yeah.
Some of your human psychology is very accurate. Okay. So as the boat rows, rain begins to fall faster and faster. Unlike other rain, this rain feels like blades on the skin. It's cutting, it's penetrating. It doesn't bleed, but it needles, it pains slightly. As we approach, you see floating in the water ancient ruins, statues, stone, pottery, jewelry floating in the water. As we approach, you hear crying, wails of agony and pain and sorrow. Your guide says we have landed on the island of sorrow. You look around and you see billions of people in cloaks, lying and crying in the mud, everyone in a state of agony and sorrow. But somehow you begin to laugh. Somehow you feel happiness and joy. Your Pegasus lands down and you mount your flying steed as you survey this island. You see all of these ancient ruins, all of these statues with tear marks from the rain constantly being engraved by the erosion of endless rain on this island. Each raindrop is a life lost. Each person here was overtaken by sorrow, not ever able to see anything other than pain and agony, overtaken by their past, creating that in the future. You see down in the ruins a chariot. This chariot half submerged in mud. You walk up and you see in this chariot a stone, a rune with this symbol engraved. Your guide, who is following behind, says that this is the rune of the chariot, of movement, of the spinning progression of life, of mechanism, of innovation, of creation, of coming up with unique solutions to difficult issues, of finding the continued progression through the sorrow, of driving your chariot through the muck. And you feel this now as your steed lands. You place the saddle reins of this old chariot onto your flying horse. And instantly it is released from the mud, cleaned and perfect. In the rain, as it falls faster and faster, you mount your place in the chariot and you ride through the island of sorrow. You see each and every person's pain. You feel it. You see some people you recognize, celebrities and famous individuals. And you come to terms to the fact you have been here before and you might return here again. But you, unlike everyone on the island of sorrow, have the option to leave. Sorrow can be creative, sorrow can be positive, but too much is damning. Too much prevents you from flowing to your highest state. Mount your chariot and continue. As you fly, a portal opens in the sky, returning you to your room, to your place in time, your natural human reality. You say goodbye to your guide. All of your 7 runes clanging in the bag at your side now become one with you, as cellular memory becoming one with your essence. You burst into flame of truest self as you remember your journey. From the forge to the fire, to the hermit, to the horse, to the wheel, to the recognition, to the sorrow you felt. Feel these aspects within you and know that you can always return by returning to this audio video recording and the poetic messages you've received. Thank you, Violetann.
Thank you.
Okay. Any final questions or comments?
Not that
for YouTube. Hello, internet.
Well, thank you for giving me the reading. It was really interesting. So is that mostly using the day of the Celtic Day of the Dead?
The Celtic Book of the Dead cards, yeah. That's what, and there's poetry and mythology for each of them. I use some of it, but a lot of it's a 50-50. So it's 50% historical and 50% me just coming up with my own system that is exclusive. So I'm taking something that's been done for thousands of years, a storyteller going on an other world voyage to the land of the dead. That's ancient, but we're doing it over the internet. We're doing it with video and cards and pictures and runes. They didn't use the weird rune historically. This is a creation of the 1980s. The 25th rune, they only use the 24. So it's very much modern and ancient, about 50-50. So
that was really cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you anyone who's watched this. And if you're not subscribed to Violetann Tarot, you're missing out on really good content.
Thank you. It was really good. I like the fact that you do a lot of different kind of reading styles rather than just sticking to one and just letting it flow.
Yeah, and this is a very experimental, is about the flow, is very channeling. My other types of readings, I did practice for 100 sessions like I am with this before I felt proficient to give clients or public readings. And that's a very structured system where it's like the same thing. If I give someone a rune reading or a tarot reading, I have a system that I use. But the system's very much in flux. So, and that's creating hopefully better content.
I mean, to be honest, that can be quite good because a lot of people when they start out, when they do tarot, they do it in a set number of cards and different positions and stuff. And then as you get more and more experience as a reader, most people just do it freehand. So I suppose with that as well, it's giving you more freedom. It's giving you more freedom to flow depending on the reading rather than being forced down a path, basically. Oh, are you still there?
Thank you for being open. Thank you for being open to the reading, Violetann, and thank you for anyone who's clicked on this video.
Thank you for that.